Hey everyone, so I'm going to finish Ace Attorney, the first series today. We're gonna do more science stuff. So yeah, that will be good. So I'm gonna tweet out that I'm streaming right now. It's a good thing I still have the guide up. So yeah, I'm starting early because this game takes a while, but we're gonna begin right now. Okay, we're gonna continue and do episode 5, day 2. Yes, we're gonna load. February 23rd, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Okay, wait, we have a comment. Hi, unknown explosion. Oh, okay. Hi, dork guy. Rather, the whole thing is a one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice, yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Guy, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. February 23rd, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Okay, let me pull up the guide. Okay, so we're on day 2. Trial? Okay, I think we're on day 2 trial former. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. While he is much more forceful in person, I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime, a professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Ho ho, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir, did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca even taste like? Name, profession? Now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Uh-huh. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Star was a detective? Aha. I know who you are. Cough up, Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well, you may continue with the description, Miss Star. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block... Oh, that was... Okay, that was A block. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with a knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Parking lot floor plans added to the court record. The parking lot with Edgeworth's car. Witness, did you see at the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright, I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your words, Miss Star. Wait, are they talking about me? Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'm gonna press... Okay, oh wait. Sorry. Oh, I have to read this. Okay, yeah, she's gonna... Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through this wireframe, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend, how touching. As you can see, there's no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I am still thinking about that. It is merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Okay, witness account. Okay. So I'm gonna press... How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. If I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off, she was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro. As you know, my testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Okay, I was on my way. Okay. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend, you have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Notice that the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block, so she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. Okay, through the wire fence, okay. By garish car you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's. Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can, even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequence of doubting me? I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph. You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snapped. I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunch boxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I show it to you, or prosecutor think again? My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Crime photo, the moment of the crime is photographed by Angel Star. Oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. So what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Okay, I'm gonna present the picture, I guess. Yeah. Objection! And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with the knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch, but isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. I have to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter? Huh? See the dark crimson red stain on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's black and white. But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Ah, you got a better idea? No problem. Now that you mention it, I see no problem here. Other than myself. Mr. Wright, you can't just let him walk over you. That's just sad. Feeling sad, Mr. Wright? Perhaps a bittersweet first love lunchbox is in order. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's continue with the testimony. Perhaps I should have dug a little deeper. Okay, let's see. Let's skip to Chief Prosecutor. Okay, and then present the crime photo. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest. Oh wait. Okay, she swears it on her finest salmon lunch. I'm not sure that is a fine lunch, but isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? And why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. Oh wait, I already read all this.
Objection!
Sorry. Oh, okay. It was the last line. Sorry. Okay. No problem. Sorry. I'm repeating this. I'm repeating this. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So I had to. Okay. Sorry. Okay, wait, I have to... Okay, sorry. Right hand. Am I missing something? Okay, let me look at the comments. I don't know what's going on. Oh wait, I needed to choose objection. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'll do this again. I wasn't reading correctly.
Objection!
Okay, I'm gonna skip.
Objection!
Objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony, namely that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. But that's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Wow. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. Okay. I'll have to present the knife.
Objection!
Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edwards' trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy. Oh, I didn't read that. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What is that, Rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Whoa. Order, order, order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. Well, what? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail, but this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah, the prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now, but you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing? I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Miss, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Okay. Angel's deduction. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, does it? So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Okay. I quickly caught her. Okay. This star has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Oh, whoops. I wonder, would it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, okay. Oh, okay, hold on. I quickly caught her. I was looking for that quickly caught her. Wait. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Okay, it's okay, sorry, I was on the wrong part. Oh wait, darn it. Okay, hold on. I'm taking a while. Okay, Goodman's autopsy report. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. Well, what do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this. But take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? Well, witness... Oops, I didn't read the last part. You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one would ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. And tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Okay. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. Present crime scene photo. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I wasn't reading. Okay, the witness is clearly not suited for detective work. Huh, I was like, scrolling. Well, what? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler or any kind when she stabbed the victim, and you proved it yourself. With this photograph, huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really. Oh no, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continued our testimony. Okay, you saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, but we couldn't shake the most important part of the testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim? This next testimony might be just the moment of truth. Okay, apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to the side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me. Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is kind of a snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self. Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Okay, cross-examination time. Okay. I quickly caught her, so I have to go. Okay, press. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? Press her. I like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The lunchtime car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in the B block, so you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing, the Kappa Queen Lunch Lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gone to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high too. How did Miss Sky not get away? Oh yes, okay, and then, press. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard was her say the word muffler. Just that one word. So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking to her on the phone. Her phone? She can't mean... ask further. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Star. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order, and so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing witness. Good witnessing whatever happened to good testifying. You should of course add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Nana cell phone, the wind muffler, was overheard using a call made to Emma at 5:18. Okay, let's see. Okay, press. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. And she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during the time you climbed over the chain link fence. And when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Okay, let's see, ask further. Saw it all. She tried. Okay, press. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm on the next line, I think. Sorry, I'm so confused with this game. Chief prosecutor made to escape against Angel Star. Resistance is futile. Oh, okay. I think I need to present the parking lot floor plans. Miss Star, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Scott. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Star, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime scene from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. The emergency phone was on the back side of the partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? Wow. Order, what is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. Girl. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie the witness had told in court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about, let's see, what she saw. She lied about what she saw. In other words, she didn't see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical. What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox? Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would Miss Star lie like that? Huh? Why would she say that my sister had tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant? Oh, dang, she's right. I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone. I see no room for doubt here. You ordered the patooey on rice, right? Mr. Right. And I thought you had something there. One more try. I see it in your eyes. You haven't learned your lesson, have you? That is exactly what lie this witness had told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. Okay, the order of events. She lied about the order of events. Miss Guy used the emergency phone before the murder. I see. I hadn't thought of that. That took the wind out of her sails. Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would anyone use the emergency phone before the murder, huh? Just when you think he can't sink any lower, he amazes us. I applaud you, Mr. Wright. You ordered the orange peel lunchbox, right? I guess that teaches me to not get excited before the evidence. One more try. I see it in your eyes. You haven't learned your lesson, have you? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about where she saw it. This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Well, that's a pointless lie if I've ever seen it. Okay. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question for our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Miss Starr witnessed the crime was here. Okay. Choose the security room on the map. Okay. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room, indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men? I think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has gotten the better of Angel Starr. Order, witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty, is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense, huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? The witness is found to be lying. They're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must be a vital difference, but what? What would change? The distance to the crime. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor... But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness, you... Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Oh, she traveled a long way. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes. And this changes things considerably, but it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Raise an objection. Objection! 5 minutes between the witness of the murder and the rest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time if you like it al dente. I've got lunch boxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. If you have instincts of a killer, you would run. But this time was different. This guy dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness had a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Ms. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it. We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. But that was too close. I'm afraid that the Kafo Queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me. Prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another of her trick lunch boxes? My apologies. But we have no further questions to ask you, Miss Starr. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo, a triple-decker. Out of deference to the witness determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the lunchman motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Decisive evidence. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene, and now to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched the one of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. What? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Venus, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple, as I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention I have 3 boyfriends in forensics? In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, the issue is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the issue has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Nah, Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Victim shoe, white enamel shoe, bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Skye. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Okay, okay. Press, okay. As I mentioned, in those 5 minutes I was looking at the crime scene. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, 5-minute blank seems nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile law known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. It's when the suspect is admitting she did it. The false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. Let's see. And not to the matter of the victim's shoe, did I not bring this up? And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck over the shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. The shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. What types of blood were found in the shoe? Okay. So you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. You can't say that for sure. The blood belonged to the defendant with the blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie. Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skye. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. The shoe proves that it's false of decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There's a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes, you're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. Okay, rotate. Okay, examine the blood on the bottom. I wonder if you noticed, there's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? Present crime photo. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order. Well, witness. What, huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly a predator. This one, a leopard woman, rawr. I thought that was a strange thing for a normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though, apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha. You don't mean, yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie were quite clearly to this murder. And after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate.
The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. Angel Star is on the prosecution side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Hold it. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You say that my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you had your fill. You are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox, a lunchbox called evidence. Well, wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare me, the cough-up queen. Look at this. The photograph? I hid it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the right shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Bright, wait, look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win in this case from the beginning, and it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not. Don't be quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt, take another good look. Don't give up, not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well, this time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah. I'll think later. Yeah, there is a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Okay, I think this is the muffler.
Take that!
The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor? You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of muffler or scarf or any kind of this photograph. Muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, up high. I see and I see. What's that suspicious looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to this case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth is in the muffler is related to this case. Okay, present Lana's cell phone. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what she had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. R. Yar. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh. Whoa. Horror. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about the piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, here we do have a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Phew, that was close. Okay. But we made it, at least for now. This court will adjourn for 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. You still hungry? To be continued. Okay, nope. February 23rd, 11:56 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Okay, Mr. Wright, huh? What? Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up to the bottom of the lake, about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? Pretty much, except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called up to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So this is where we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. Officer Marshall. Though I'd come to take a look see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They got the home range locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen the last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall, the whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now, don't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow out her slender neck many times. I saw that day too. I saw that day, and she was wearing a red muffler. What? At the award ceremony that afternoon, Edgeworth seen it too, I'd reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partners, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. I have a bad feeling about this. So what are you swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee. February 23rd, 12:32 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. I'd like to resume. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused, you're doubled over, your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well then, I believe it is time we continue on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable. It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me, knock knock. Who's there? What's with this guy? A strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Ah, it's you. Oh, heh. Sorry I'm late, OG. The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see. OG, how you been? Swim much these days? Hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy, smizzy, edgy. My boy, you have to make time to relax. Yes, yes, indeed. Edgy seems to be his nickname for the judge. I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. I'm sorry, but who are you? Aha, so you're Rido, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks. So sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. The little worthy? Mr. Wright. You don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Name's Grant, Damon Grant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, reading is hard. To what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler, so Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. Oh, little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing even for us. What is this? It's what you call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing. Chief. What kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth, how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? No, wait a minute, Worthy. Okay, I'm telling you to wait, or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of the investigation. There's no mistaking that the signature is there, Miles Edgeworth. No, that's not fair. On the day of the crime, your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel, but you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've ever seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Gah. The court accepts this new evidence. I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes. Well, I think all you had to do is push that switch in. If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Okay, that other one was fast. I didn't get to read it. Okay, whoa. Oh, okay. Oh, it chose for me. Okay, that's okay. I wasn't sure what was going on. On the side. Wait. Like this side? I don't know. As the switch on the side. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, let me go over here. I think this is the switch. Wow, don't scare me like that. I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off and the dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife added to the courtroom record. Switchblade knife found on the crime scene wrapped in the defendant's muffler, small tag attached. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. Okay, any comments? Fun game, to be honest. This is the longest episode in the whole trilogy, by the way. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's very long. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but Could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife? Sure thing. Not a problem, not even a little one, really. Okay, witness's testimony. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman, that was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. The time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department. A detective. That's hush information, Aji. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Order. Anyway, we at the department we're all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well, however, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Okay, present Goodman's note and statement unless there's evidence. Okay, present Goodman's note. Which one is that? Okay. Wait a second. Last, an honest to goodness objection. This knife, this has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Aha. An honest to goodness, what do you mean from Aji? That is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92, and this is important. Why? Over here we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What is this? 6 minus 7s 12-2? Your Honor. It's upside down. Upside. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Ah ha ha. Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That is the same thing that is written on the knife's tag. Order. Well, Chief. Ah, well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? Okay, this knife is evidence in a case. It was stolen. So this knife was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice. Good show, Littleworthy. It was a murder weapon as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. And it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edward's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Okay. The detective was killed. Okay, press. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Aji? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator, do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested, that was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Ooh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. Let's see, where the victim was found. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room of the police department. The evidence room Wait a second, I have heard of that. The evidence room. Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Grant to testify about the details. It's not officially... Okay, press... Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Hey, you don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know what the detective murdered. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed, there do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right there. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet at all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. Wait, what? Oh, what, really? Who would have guessed? Court babe, I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? Okay, I think I need to press it on this. On the same day that, okay, I already pressed that. It's not official. Okay, it's... Okay, oh. I thought I already read the other part. This game is kind of confusing. So, hello, listen to Wishing Well. Okay. Oh, okay, wait, how the victim... Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I already went through this. I keep repeating myself because I'm reading the guide too and I get lost. Okay, so, it's not officially... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna press him on this. Sorry, everyone. Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Hey, you don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in this testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. Also note that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed, there do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. Oh, did I read that too? Oh, darn it. I read that too. Okay, I'm not following the guide. I mean, I am following, but I keep repeating. Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, I'll press. Okay. If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do it properly. Oh, well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. Okay, the victim's ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who is who from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers so you don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. Well, that's quite long, and we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82. I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does that tell you anything? The ID number of the victim of the police department, 5842189. This tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think meaning has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you? Okay, is that Goodman's ID? Witness. What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, I got confused. And this is news? Huh? Just come up with it both guns blazing, like you always do. The police department, the prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh ho, is it yours? No, Your Honor. I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Righto. Personal IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly, huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier, that started with 82. Yes, I forgot. You didn't even get the first number right. Again, the number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, right? What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, ho. Sharp as a tack, Righto, sharp as a tack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department. Yet a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department in the evidence room at the exact same time. But that's impossible. So what are we saying? So what we're saying is the same person was killed at the same time and in a completely different location? Order, Chief, what does this mean? No, what I want to know is why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine. I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now just wait a second, Worthy, no need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error, Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. Well, what? How? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha. Excuse me, but it's Mr. Edgeworth. Anywhere on this premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I got your report, sir. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me, he said that report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right there on the top of the report. God, why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if the officer was capable of making that connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But, sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then I... No such luck this time, Worthy, or should I say unworthy. What? What was the second rule of evidence law? Well, Mr. Wright, huh? Oh, well, it's a rule to unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in the court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list, so what does that mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Brido over there. Here. Good job, Brido, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No. It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy. What with all those rumors? You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I'll get to the bottom of what happened, if it's the last thing I do. You'll get results this time, really. You better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well, court is adjourned. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I keep skipping a lot around. The text goes so fast, and sometimes I like click too fast. Okay, so no, I'm not gonna save. Okay, so there's day 3. And then there's like the final day. Okay, so we're on the day 2 investigation. February 23rd, 2:15 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case anyways? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot in the police department's evidence room. What's the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Oh, was it by car? I didn't get to read that. I mean, I read that, but oops, I read it too fast. Yeah. Well, that's what we're going to find out, or try to at least. Alright, let's do it. Now she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. February 23rd, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found here. Who cares? Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in the evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. The oil drum. Was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just, we're both professionals at what we do and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that old drum washed it all away. Hehehe. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Luminol? That is sticky stuff, you know. You can just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But when the police have already done those tests, never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Let's give it a try. Me, why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink it. We're testing blood stains with the stuff, not drinking it. Here, look. I'll lend you these glasses. You had an extra pair of those things? Ooh, everything's red. To test for blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Press enter to spray it on. Okay. Okay, let's find us some blood stains. Okay, let's see. Spray it next to the one at the back of the car. Like, I think here. Choose. Oh, wait. Is it next to the one? Examine. I can see your eyes shining behind those glasses. So is this a blood stain? It's so, Emma, you're shaking. It's just this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a blood stain, but doesn't something strike you as odd scientifically speaking, of course? What's odd about this scientifically? The amount of blood. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna mark up the floor plans when we find the bloodstain, okay? See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Criminal testing fluid. Solution used for scientific investigation finds blood traces sprayed to use. Okay, we can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. Then let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah, it feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? Guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. Ha! I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Star, you only trust your own eyes. Not bad, you two. This day old daily box is on the house. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. Okay, talk to Angel. Today's trial. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Star, but no, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry, you just lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. Ah. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Star? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up, they confessed. They babble like babies, you know. I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can't be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I drag the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect, and before long, they called me the cough-up queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go or fired? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case, the SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... okay. Present Goodman's note to Angel. Okay. Okay. What do you think about this? The SL9 incident. It's written on that knife. And on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective of the case on that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Okay. Present crime photo. If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room, but even I get flustered sometimes, so you went straight to the scene of the crime. I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime. Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The hole in my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl, I've had my testimony disregarded before, and I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time. Okay. Back talk. That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. Or nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable to who? 2 years ago was the biggest case I've ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence, so they didn't solve it. On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed, yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence, not a shred. Well, but the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence of a sort, made-up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Exactly, Detective Jake Marshall. Oops, I mean Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. Detective Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Okay. Jake was particularly determined, and then it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SO9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait, those lunches you sell. There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate. Miss Starr's old boyfriends. How many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SO9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, Rookie. But what? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. A Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. Steak lunch received by Miss Starr. Excellent for putting Officer Marshall in a good mood. Miss Starr? Officer Marshall, is he your, are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister. It made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now, he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. Officer Jake Marshall, Okay, let's see. Salisbury steak lunch. Examine the letter if you haven't already. Alright, did I examine the ladder? I forgot. Let's do it again. Aha, ladder. That's a step ladder. Oh. Okay, we examined the ladder. Move to the guard station. Move. Police department entrance. February 23rd, police department entrance. It's even busier today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed here after all. It's the evidence room, the scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got the front desk. Here it is. She's like a kid at the amusement park. Oh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. Move to the guard station. February 23rd, evidence room entrance. Guard station. What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room. So beyond that door is the evidence room, the scene of the crime? It sure seems that way. Oh. What's wrong? It's those cacti. They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is if this is a guard station, where is the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Okay, move to the police department entrance. February 23rd, police department entrance. This place is charged with frantic energy as always. Please, wasn't that one steak lunch, please? Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. No time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Now it's no time for despair. We caught our criminal. Now we just need evidence. The criminal. You mean you heard about the stabbing at the police department evidence room, right, pal? The same day that a detective was killed at the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? And the perpetrator, do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect, just arrested him in fact. It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy, but Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch pronto. Standing around here talking isn't going to fill my belly. Wait, don't leave. If you want to know more, head down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there to have a good cry. Later. He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. We have to move to the okay, move again. Detention center. Okay. February 23rd, detention center, visitors room. Okay, how long is this? Oh boy. Yeah, this is very long. I might have to make this stream into 3 parts. I mean, this last series. I don't know what to call it. Hold on. Okay, we're at the detention center. Talk to Meekins. Still, I do feel better about things a little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. But it's not to go too far down that road right now. Things will get confusing. What was that? Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator? I'd say I was the perpetrator against sir. That's what I'd say. Hi. Greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. Excuse me, but this is Mr. Edwards, is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of Chief, sir. I got your report, sir. Officer Meekins, sir, you're a guard here at the detention center? No, sir, I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman. Like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report? No, sir, how should I say this? Wait, he isn't, is he? You, Officer Meekins, you did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir. Wait, what? Now this is an unexpected turn of events. Okay, talk. The day of the crime. Sir, I'm a patrolman with General Affairs, sir. Sir, I can hear you fine, Officer Meekins. That's my business that day, sir, and so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir. So normally there's a guard at the evidence room? That's right, sir, because evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir. A suspicious person. Yow, wow, wow. What the heck is this guy doing? So what happens then? After that, sir, I saw everything went white. I saw red, I blacked out, and when I came to, I was there in the detention center. How long were you out? Days? Might I ask, what happened to your hand? Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could do to wrap it up, sir. A bandage on his hand. Just like Miss Sky. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first, tell us about your hurt hand. The victim. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir. If you have to label me as perpetrator or victim, sir, then label me victim. I would, but you happen to be in detention and alive and well at that. Oh, yes, well that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as stranger or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So you didn't know him? Sir, I work as a tiny department devoid of light and other creature comforts. I don't know any detectives. So if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir. None. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. There's someone around here is more confused than I am. Bandage hand. About your hand, did that... Oh, oops. Well, you see, sir, don't you think you should just confess? But sir, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell you the truth... Sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed the knife at me, I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. The next thing you knew, you were, huh? Then when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir. Alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. What? Then when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hands, sir. Oh, the shock. Oh, the sorrow, sir. Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared? That's some story. Okay, present Goodman's ID. Okay. Present Goodman's ID, which is here. Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey, that's it, sir. That's it. That's what. My head was a blank until this very moment, but sir, now I remember, sir. You mean you remember what happened? Correct, that card was the cause of it all. This ID card, exactly, sir. That's exactly it. Nothing could be more exact, sir. I'd better pry into this one a little deeper. Okay, talk to Meekins. Okay. Crime details. Can you tell me what it is you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a little lost patrolman, a lost little lamb, if you will. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman, who was in the evidence room. And that's why you thought he looked suspicious? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show me his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir. That's what you've been trying to tell. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. What? Sir, I assure you I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whipped and leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him. Do unto to others before they do unto you. My own father's words, sir. What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir, everything went white. When I woke, I was here. Right? Reason for arrest. So, Officer Meekins, why was it that they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman and the victim whom he met the scene of the crime didn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. That's absurd. That's what I wanted to say. That is, I did say something along those lines, huh? But you still ended up here. They showed me that it had to be him, sir, on the day at the time. Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the evidence clearly? No. But the videotape is quite clear, huh? Videotape. From the security camera, the crime I swear to stand by, it's there. It's me. It's on tape. And you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, really, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. No thanks. I have my own. Well, I guess we better go check out the crime scene. Okay, move to the Criminal Affairs Department. February 23rd, Police Station Criminal Affairs Department. Hey, Mr. Wright, look who's standing at the Chief Detective's desk. It's Police Chief Grant. And you're sure this is all? You know what it means if there's anything missing, sir. I'm sure it's most likely totally perfect. We checked all of his drawers, lockers, garbage cans, bags, coat pockets, hats. Under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, well, you will call me right away, deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again, sir. The chief of detectives looks a little flustered. Righto, my boy. How you been? Swim much? Oh, Chief Grant, reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? Okay, talk to Grant. Edgeworth. Is Edgeworth going to be okay? Oh, Worthy? Oh, you know, you're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yep, well, they had no end of trouble with the boys since last year. You mean the incident on Gourd Lake? It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? And you got someone else found guilty in that case, right, Righto? Von Karma. I legend he was undefeated in his 40-year career, but in court you fixed it, so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of a turmoil, you might say. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be a fad for Worthy. Well, what? Evidence room incident. It's downright odd. I tell you, the detective getting killed on the turf too, I mean. There being the prosecutors, I assume, scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. What evidence is this? No, Righto, I can't give away all our secrets just like that. And this in particular, well, it's a little sensitive. And I can't talk about it. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff, secrets. I can't stand it. But you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the chief of detectives trap shut. He was the one you were picking on earlier, huh? You saw that? Whoops. I wonder what it was that he wanted the chief of detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. Okay, let's see. Examine the bald man. Okay. I'm sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the chief of police want you to do? I'll see over there. That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonged to Detective Goodman is still here? Of course not. Well, except for this. What, you kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? Didn't Detective Goodman lose something? The date of it is February 21st. Better make a note of that just in case. Goodman's lost item report. Haven't document dated 2/21. Can all be submitted to the chief of police. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. Okay, talk to Grant. Permission to enter. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Well, I never thought the day would come when Ryder asks me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. No, Ryder. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate after all. Ryder, please. Do I look like a selfish man, huh? Heck, if anyone asks me, sir, can I borrow $50? I give them $50, no problem. Sure. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. It just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you here, you can borrow this. Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir, it's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. Heh. It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we get to go to the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. Okay, oh wait, move to guard station, okay. Wait. Okay. Move guard station. Wait. Oh wait, no. Oh wait. I need to go back. Oops. Okay, wait, what? Oh wait, I didn't give the steak lunch. Oops. Oh wait, I don't know how to go back now. Okay. Let's see, there's nothing. Move. Ooh, did I mess up? I don't know if I messed up. Hahaha. Okay, cause I forgot to give. Wait. Oh no, wait. Oh wait, no, that's after. Okay, I didn't mess up. I thought I messed up. Okay, that's so confusing. I'm following this guide. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, I will fix this. I'm confused right now. Okay, permission to enter. Move to guard station. Okay, yeah, I thought I had to move to the guard station. It showed nothing. I don't know. This is why I take a while. I'm confused. Okay, wait. Examine the door. Okay, I'm gonna examine the door. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Grant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha, the card reader is turned off. See, what is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, what made my Bambina sky so gray? Officer Marshall, why does it have to be him? What's that? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeehaw, that card you got there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw. Well, what you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's a win. Looks like the card reader's on again. While you're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. Okay, present the steak lunch. That smell. Reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yes, Miss Starr. What's this? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Steak lunch given to Officer Marshall. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask munch, anything munch, smack. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Okay, guard. Okay, wait. Need to talk. Guard station. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of the security for the evidence room, right? You've got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. That poor little doggy. Poor guy, keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know. So what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. No, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take to machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Marshall. Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it still smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago, the day of our case. That's right. Evidence transfers. Edgeworth was talking about the transfers too. Security system. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard, and you reckon one more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. That's the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card record. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina, I can't show you any more of that, huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Transferal. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. so we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake. See? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the country sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after case is solved, they closed forever. Dead, never to be reopened again, never to be reinvestigated, and that happened to SL9 2 days ago. Okay. Present. Okay, present. Goodman's ID. See this? This is the victim's ID card. The one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 5842819. Officer Marshall, show us the ID card record again. Look at the 4th number. It's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14 right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. But wait, what did Officer Meekin say? So I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. If he had his ID card, then why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. ID card record. IDs of all who entered the evidence room at 2:21. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Okay, move to evidence room. Okay. February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room. It's really kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're at the evidence room. So I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So it's true what I heard? Righto, please do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asks me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate the room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50, even me. Also, that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge for the investigation for today. Just for today, boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidence room floor plans. Scene of the stabbing of a detective at the PD. Okay, talk to Gumshoe. Boss for a day. So Detective Gumshoe, your boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're a boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation again. Inadamant, though. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Haha, of course. I'm a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? Edgeworth. I always believe in Mr. Edgeworth no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee right now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. Evidence lockers. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why? I'm on my 3rd card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand. Oh, You mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. The only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handle. See the handles? Oh, on the other side of the handle is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, zap, you get shocked. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoke every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Evidence locker. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. Okay. Present Goodman's note. Detective Goodman's note. And that switchblade knife. Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection, that was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared, but why would evidence from the case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there's some loose ends left on that case. Okay, talk to Gumshoe. SL9 incident. Now that was a bloody violent case. Violent. So it was a murder? A serial killing. A serial killing. Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all, but the killer made a mistake and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight and started the rumors about forged evidence. It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transfer the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So that switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Okay. Present ID card record to Gumshoe. Which one's that? Wait, nope. ID card record, okay, yeah. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa. Well, what is it? The second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? The second number on the list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? What? The ID card record ID. Okay, it's been updated. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? I have to examine some things. Examine the white item hanging out of the locker. Okay. Is it this? There's something sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Looks like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't tuck his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're going to talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. Okay, examine the handprint on the right side of the room. Oops. Okay, yeah, it's like right here. Oh, what's this? Blood. It's a little worn. Maybe there's definitely a handprint here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright, what if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use her testing fluid to check it out. Okay, examine the open locker. Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is lit. The locker is coded with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker.
Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if you closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. I'll examine the white glove. Someone left a glove here, but only one. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. Rubber glove added. Okay, tagged evidence from the SL9 incident is extremely thin rubber glove. Okay, examine the shards on the floor. Wow, someone must have broken something to make all these pieces. Whoops. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case, the SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces here? Another piece of SL9 evidence. Take a closer look. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever broke. You want to try to put it back together? Ha, good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Combine? Rotating is required. Rotation every time you exit and enter. Okay. I have to solve this puzzle. Oh wait, it's this one, right? Okay, I got this one. And then the next one is 4. Okay, then the next one is 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this one's next. The next one is 1. And then the next one is the last one. Okay, then 3, 2, 7. Okay, and then we got the last piece here. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Well, some pieces are stolen. I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar.
I kind of understand how it got broken. A stable jar added to the court record. Jar pieced back together from fragments found in the crime scene. A piece is missing. Okay, sorry, solve the puzzle. Okay, solve the puzzle. Spray the area behind the yellow tape. Okay, then I need to use this. Okay, spray behind the yellow tape. Examine. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, Detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien. This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, you didn't want my opinion. You shouldn't have asked. And then spray the handprint. Examine. I knew it. This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter, Detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours? Please. You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that to me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. What? But you're a detective. With the eye. Okay. Spray the area. Okay, spray the locker with the white item hanging. The actual locker, not the item. Oh. Okay. Examine. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch a spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something insignificant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What's this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get the hands on that? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow $50 from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it from the mail order. Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plans. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm going to give them my report of the day. It might help you know. Report? You mean those notes written on the back of the flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say too. Okay, move. Guard room. Here's the front entrance. Move underground parking lot. Move to the High Prosecutor's office. February 23rd, High Prosecutor's office, room 1202. Ah, guest, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave so long. Is Edgeworth here? They're standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service. Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's inquiry. I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Yes, he brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. Okay, talk to Edgeworth. Inquiry committee. So how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this as a case of concealing evidence. But as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times, ever since that case 2 years ago. Tomorrow's trial. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave me control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department. Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by the chief of police, Gant. I can't do anything. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you, why? All along I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of, but still, well, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Okay. Present ID card with record. Oh right, I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage? Edgeworth, you went to the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. The chief of police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office, but it was solved, right? It wouldn't have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. A screwdriver. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's brought back to his office by Gant's request. Stubborn as always, I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. Present Goodman's note to Edgeworth. Okay. I know you. You probably got a hold of some information already, right? Yeah, all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You're the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. You must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. Okay. Talk. Allegation of forgery. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in that case 2 years ago too then. Okay, he was a top officer and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief of police on this investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murder. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We want our guilty verdict and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister, what? If you were still studying forensic science. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminal testing fluid. Well then. You might have a use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Fingerprint set. Recovers fingerprints from handprints for comparison with fingerprint file. Well, let's get going. Oh no, she's cheating? Oh, I'm just reading the guide. Like, I did get everything, the jar put back together. Okay, let me remove these, comments. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Okay, move to evidence room. Move. Okay. Move. Oh wait, oops. I'll have to, okay, hold on. Moving to the wrong area. February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here there's blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger, each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. Let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I can't really tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Okay, maybe like the thumb, I guess. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. How do you do that? With enter, see? Okay. It looks like that did the trick. Aluminum powder adheres to completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. How do I do that? With E. Exciting, I know. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See? Wow, it looks like fun. It might get some getting used to though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I better give it a try. Okay. Okay, so I have to press enter a bunch of times. I don't know where to... Okay. Ooh, white powder everywhere. Okay. Okay, that should be enough. Okay. And then, okay. Extend it. Oh, okay. Blow away dust. Examine it. Okay. Do I go back? I think I'd like to try one of the other fingerprints. Okay. Oh wait. I'm confused. Okay, let's do this one again. Is this supposed to highlight something? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Aha, you did it. Okay, I got it. You found one, but this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations, but it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Look at the locker door again closely.
It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. I guess I think maybe this one? Okay, let's see. I hope this is enough. Oh wait. Is there more? I think there's supposed to be more. Huh. This is a weird process to do. Weird process to complete. Okay, I'm gonna dust everywhere now, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print looks a lot of effort. Took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet. This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth and point out the person you think left these prints. How am I supposed to know who it was? I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means the prints probably doesn't have anything to do in our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, this one looks similar. Match found. Aha. So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so we came up with this with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Okay. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Oops. Examine. This is where we got a luminal food reaction, right? Right. There was a handprint here. Okay. Want to try using this? There goes her eyes sparkling again. Check for prints. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical remains. Any prints in the area will have to be wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Well, you say that. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me anyway. We must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Okay, let's choose this one.
Oh, wait. Wait. Why can't I press enter? Oh, wait. Back? Oh, no. Okay, okay, it says right enter button. I'm just pressing enter all over the place because it won't let me examine anything. I don't know why. Oh, okay. Looks like I found it. Okay, that's dust everywhere, I guess. Okay, blow. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? It doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Oh. Okay, how about here? Okay. Let's see, blow. Oh no. This is taking a long time. I don't know where to dust. I'm just doing it all over the place right now. Okay, cool. Okay, we just need to pick, okay. This one looks close. Match found. Okay. Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall's, huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Marshall's fingerprints found on bloody handprint left in evidence room. The print has been wiped. Okay. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in this crime. Emma. This is slightly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminal reaction, the blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh, so we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall? It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. To be continued. Oh, whoops. What do you guys think? Should I keep going? How long have I been streaming? Hello, doing lines of coke, I see. Yes, there was a lot of white powder involved. Okay, wait, let's see. What is it? It's been 2 hours. I guess I can go for another hour. But I think this hour will be like the final, so hopefully I can get through it. February 24th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are, after all. The victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana. Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't see capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You don't understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, we're going to accuse Mr. Marshall. We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do we have to do what you have to do, Mr. Wright? February 24th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain in both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear from the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now, that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. That's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let's let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls The suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect, you mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. So you're telling us that you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I want you to call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am a part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Crime report. Okay. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you to unto to others before they unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir, I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness? Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need to hear is more info to work with. Okay, let me go back. Okay. If I remember right, okay. Okay. Oops. Oh wait. Okay. Okay, hold on. I was on the wrong thing. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. Oh. Okay. So you were attacked. Can you tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir, a knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him. That's how I got his gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hands wouldn't be. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life. Then I did it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, so the man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then then the next thing I knew, yes, he punched me right in my face, sir. Okay, after that I press. Okay. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that I was unconscious? Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was around 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. Or I mean, it's nice that you covered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. This is what he was telling us yesterday. Well, we need to try and skim some more details from him. For starters, what was an officer from the General Affairs Department doing in there in the first place? Right, let's press him for all he's worth. Okay. Oh. Did I press him on the first one? I don't know. Let me do it. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Okay, I already read this. Okay. This is so hard because I had to press him on anything and I don't know what I previously read. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this again. I think I already read a lot of this. Okay, it says... Okay, we got the record. There it is, I found it. This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir, it's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see, but the number 4989596 is shown being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to get him after everything settled down. I see, so it was during the second time when... Yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen. ID card record. IDs of all who entered the evidence room on 2/21. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins, with regard to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir, that's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security cameras in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. This is the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is good as ever. Well, then let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? I don't know if I'm supposed to talk during this, but it's just going back and forth. Oh no, they're fighting. Uh-oh. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? Okay, wait. Oh, where was I? Okay, I got it. What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that was the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the blue badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security video from the security camera placed in the evidence room. Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. His face can be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir, so it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What is this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Okay, okay, I'm gonna skip past this. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir, please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust this knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify through this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? There's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seemed rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? The video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? The thing that's strange about the video would have to be this. Hold on a second, I need to use my eye drops. Well, I don't get it. Would you mind if I borrowed your eye medicine? Don't look at me with those bleary eyes. Before your eyes get too teary, perhaps you should think this through again. Now what do I do? Okay. Very well, let's try this again. Just remember one thing, Mr. Wright. Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt. Okay. Okay, Okay, it wasn't that light. I don't know what I'm supposed to press. Oops. Rewind. Let me see. Oh wait, is it this light? Oops. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean sir? As I understand, it is the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. It is a match. The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light. What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah. Oh my god, he sounded like a chicken. Order, what's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. The locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well. It just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think? Scientific investigator, huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor. Something jammed the system sensor, say. There's something else that seemed out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please. Okay. Okay, I meant to pause at the right time. Okay, please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. I often fall and roll great distances when I open. Okay. We can be sure the item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Well, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, but the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well, would the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? You have to present the glove. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove, but we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened the locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins, sir? It would appear so, sir. Order, order, order. So are we to believe then that the victim whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman? Don't be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated the possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Mystery Man 2. There was one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transfer. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases, extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal here, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. Okay, let's see. Present Goodman's lost item report. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report, it's only half complete. It shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime, something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe there's something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order, order. So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order, order, order. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There were two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in the video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instance of this murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well. It seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place. The police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime, so the real crime should only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murder being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murdered weapon. Ah. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. Activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Where exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murderer of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor, Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana. What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object. Objection! One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not, but I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth, yes, Your Honor, if this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean Your Honor? The defense would like to request a special witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we may have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requires to hear the person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? Okay, Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We should need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. February 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? How about not interrupting anything, pals? Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you caught me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey. I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay, so have you brought what I asked? Oh ho ho. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the Chief Prosecutor, were a witness in this case. Miss Sky was a witness. SL9 incident files. Files for the Joe Dark killings solved 2 years ago. Take it from me. We don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name is in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Oh, oops. I skipped that part. That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark... No, Lana. That's over with. No. Emma, wait. She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, Paul. I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Star, Damon Grant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. Okay, I think I'm gonna save here because it's been a long time. So I'm gonna save day 3 trial ladder, and then I'll continue it some other time, I think. So I'm gonna go back. Oh, whoops. Oops, okay, options, and then I'm going to the title screen, yes. Okay, then exit game. Yes, okay. Thank you everyone for joining this stream. I'll be streaming tomorrow, the hamster game. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow, I guess. Bye.